Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. In this video, I'm going to talk about what is authentication transfer, right? Which is also a part of conditional access policy. And that's the new feature and capability which is currently in preview, right? So this was introduced back in 2024 around June, right? And this has been still in the testing phase that Microsoft is still working on it, and all their partners and the respective customers who are going to be part of their test program, they are going to thoroughly test it, and then it is going to be decided whether this capability is going to be available for customers to use it within their environment. But currently that's in preview, right? That means we can try and test it, but it is also recommended that Microsoft is saying that we should not use this capability for the production scenarios or for the production requirements of the organizations, as this is not going to help us and make sure use of this. So it is not going to be useful at all, right? So let's look at what is it and how it is going to help us, right? So authentication transfer is going to be a part of authentication flow, right? That simplifies the cross-device sign-in from PC or laptop to mobile devices for all the Microsoft 365 applications. And it's going to allow us to transfer the authentication requests, right? And then you can transfer it from one device to another and vice versa, right? Like, as I said, desktop and mobile devices. And then it is going to increase the engagement of connecting them on the more than one platform, and users can simply use QR codes to authenticate to the respective applications, or number matching, or baby signing process, right? So that is how it is going to work. And there is also capability as a way for us to go ahead and create a conditional access policy. So that policy is going to be created and deployed, right? So how it is going to be created and what are the things that it is going to support, right? So with the authentication transfer, if user performs MFA on their PC, they are not required to perform the same on their mobile device, right? Because once we authenticate on one particular device, you don't need to authenticate on any other device, because it is going to just simply transfer that authentication from one to another. And this is going to also help on user improvement or user experience improvement, because people really don't like to get into the situations where I have to re-authenticate again on each platform or on each device, be it mobile device, personal laptop, or work laptop, or any other devices, right? So that way, this is going to be helpful. With authentication transfer, conditional access policy gets evaluated before transferring it, or before transferring the authentication, right? If the policy is not met the mobile device, the user is prompted to sign in, because there is an authentication method which is going to be in the process, and then it should also be authenticated, and it should met the policy requirements as well. So it is going to evaluate the existing policies as well as the new one which is created for the transfer or authentication transfer, and then it's going to take that effect further, right? On the authentication transfer, it bypasses third-party MDM solutions, where the transferring authentication to the mobile devices uh, is not going to be added. Instead, it is going to bypass that validation or authentication. And the last point here is, with authentication transfer, users must re-authenticate on their PCs, even if they signed in with the protected session tokens like primary refresh tokens, and they are not required to re-authenticate on mobile devices, because, as I said, it is going to authenticate at one place, and other place is going to be auto re-authenticate, and then user does not have to re-enter or re-authenticate again. Right? So this way it is going to simply transfer this, and we would be able to do and access the resources, right? And there are some of the ways where we can see the authentication transfer in sign-in logs as well. So I'm going to show you that upon creation of the policy, and we'll try to log in to the application or to simply the 365 portal, and then how user is going to be showing up, right? And then manage transfer authentication to specific users and applications. So definitely we can do that as well using conditional access policy. And also we can block the authentication transfers with the conditional access policy. So that's the another topic for another video. But for now, I'm going to create a conditional access policy for authentication transfer and then assign it to a specific user and show it to you. So how it works and what it is going to do, right? So let's jump on to the demo and I'm going to show you how we can do that, right? So let me share my screen here quickly. And it should be opening up. Okay. So seems it is logged in. So I'll just log it out this or I'll simply close it. Okay. So here I'm on Entra portal. And from Entra portal, we just have to go to the conditional access policies because I'm going to create a conditional access policy, which is a brand new for authentication transfer, right? And then once we create a policy, then we will move ahead and see the end user experience because policy might take some time for this to show up the policy impact, right? Or policy changes. So I'll give it a name, CA for authentication transfer. Then from here, I'm going to select that respective user because for now, I'm going to target single user instead of targeting it for all users across the tenant. And then I'm not going to select anything, but it's better to select clients and all other. So these two are added. Then I would include, let's say, we don't have any devices or the device which I'm showing you, this is not registered or joined to the domain. That means even if I create any filters, this is not going to take any impact or effect. So probably this is not going to the right one. Instead, I will target as I have already targeted these two clients, right? So that should be enough here. And on the grant, I would enforce the MFA because that should be enough here. And on the session, we can add some of the sessions. Here, we wanted to add or put an authentication flow, right? So let's go back and authentication flow is going to be added over here. Here you can see. So authentication transfer is part of authentication flow, as I said. So this is that option. And in previous video, I talked about device code flow. So this was that option and this is authentication transfer flow. So I'm going to add that here so that we wanted to make sure this is going through this one and this policy is going to be enforced. Right on the session, we can go ahead and set any of the settings as appropriate and then we should be good here too, right? So for now, I'm not going to add anything and turn this policy on and create. All right, so policy is created and you can see that it is showing up over here and this should be ready. So now the policy is ready. We should just go ahead and open browser and then I will simply log in. So let's get the user account and password for this test account so that we can go ahead and test. So let's wait for this. Okay, this is opening. Let me reset this user's password and we should be good here. All right, so let me go ahead and give it a user's credentials and Now you might be saying that where do I see the experience or difference, right? Because difference might not be shown immediately or visible as of now, because after policy, it takes a bit of time to synchronize that policy to the user credentials, and then it might not be showing immediately because it has some time to synchronize the changes and everything together. So probably I will just try to find applications and then try to log in those applications, and let's see if it is going to show us, and we can check. Okay, got it. Let's go with the Copilot. Okay, so I'm just trying to open up different apps and let the policy hit this user account so that we can check and capture the logs, right? So I think we can just go through some of these applications and see. I know these are not the right applications because those are not, or we don't have the appropriate license as well as subscription for those applications, but those are added over here as an application, and that is why it is just showing up, right? Or it is just erroring it out. And if I try to open, it is not, because it's not configured appropriately, and that's why it is just erroring out. But I just wanted to see and show you the experience as well, right? So that is why we can just go ahead and see what's going on, what's happening there, and we should be good. From here, we are good. Just a minute. Okay, just a minute here. Oh, right. I think there was some lag. All right. So now we tried opening different applications and checked whether this is going to show up something. Now we can go back to the Entra and we can try finding some of the logs, right? So from there, because also before that, we can just go back and check what if option, which policies are going to be, or which policies are hitting to this account, right? Because that is when we would come to know whether this policy is being applied successfully or any other policies are also pushing out, right? So this should be something like, it's going to give us the clarity in short. So let's see, and we should be good here. All right, then we have added platforms. I would select Windows, then browser, as well as, I think it should be browser because that's it. That is needed. So here's the option which I'm going to select because this is what we are trying to find out. And we don't need to select any risk or anything as of now, but it should be good, and just hit enter. The classic policies are not evaluated by this tool, so we are not going to, or we don't have any classic ones, so we don't have to look into it. And let's execute this one. So now this is going to check and evaluate if, or whatever the policy is being applied on this user account selected over here, and it's going to give us that policy, right? Because it has to capture those logs. And as I said, definitely it's going to take a bit time to synchronize or write it back from the end user side. Once the user is logged in with the credentials, those logs are being automatically stored and captured in the system, right? So unable to complete due to service connection. Oh, there's service connection issues. That is why it didn't complete that process. Okay, seems that is perfect. And it only shows one of the policy, but the rest all policies are showing incorrect. That means the policy itself did not hit to the account because the policy is already assigned and it should have been enforced, right? So probably this is going to take a bit of time to showcase those logs as well, because it seems it did not hit the policy itself. Let's say go to this user and then sign in logs. And from here, we should be able to see something. So we can see some of the logs here, but at least we can just go back or scroll it down and look for our required logs. And then we wanted to see authentication transfers, right? So now it is not showing anything because it just did not happen yet, and it should be showing up, right? Because I just showed you logging into the portal. From here you can see, and then Office apps and Exchange and applications as well. So here you can see it's set to none. That means it did not identify it yet. So probably I will just try to log in, and let me do one thing here quickly on the mobile device. Then let me m365days.tech, and I will do one thing. I'll reset a password. So that's going to be simple password instead of this long password. I'll just give it something Okay, so I have reset the password. And now I'm trying to log in. Okay. And let's see. Now it's going to ask me to verify. And I got the prompt on mobile device, right? So it's going to ask me to match the numbers with authenticator application. And then from there, I will simply be all right. Okay, so it's verified and authenticated. So I'll be logging into the 365 portal now. And all right, so it's logged in successfully. I will just open up any other application and give it another option and probably just and close this prompt, and probably we can just refresh this page because it is very important to see those logs, right? And those logs should automatically be validated and showed up. So here you can see those applications are showing up now, and it's just going to take a bit more time to capture those logs from the mobile device as well. So it is going to probably show us here. You can see the client is browser as it's a rich client, and then we don't see any authentication protocol, right? We probably just go back and refresh this page. We can go to sign in logs again and check if it, oh, not it. Just refresh. All right, seems it is just taking the time, and we and let's go back. Okay, right. So should be good here. Right. So let's go back here and see. And check once. Okay, so here you can see that sign in error code. There were few sessions, it was interrupted, and okay, it did not still capture this one, but this should automatically be captured. And here you can see that the location is showing this different location because this was captured over the mobile network, and this is the mobile browser. You can see it's Android device. Then authentication happened with MFA, then conditional access. So one of the policy was applied, but this policy did not met or applied, right? So from here, we can see whether this. All right. So this is how it is going to be deployed, right? And is going to be going up, right? So yeah, that's all for this video I wanted to show you, and hope you will like and hope you learned something new. And let me know if you have any questions, anything that you wanted to ask, and probably I would answer all those questions, right? And yeah, let me know if you have any doubts or anything apart from this, right? So yeah, that's all for this video. And yeah, thanks for watching. Bye for now. And also don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel so that you will get to see new videos every time and whenever those are updated and uploaded, right? So that's all for this video. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.